chosen generation, called for to show God's excellence. All I require for life God has given me, and I know who I am. We are a chosen generation, called for to show God's excellence. All I require for life God has given me, and I know who I am. I know who God says I am, what God says I am, where God says I'm at. I know who I am. I know who God says I am, what God says I am, where God says I'm at. I know who I am. I'm walking in power, I'm walking miracles. I live a life of favor. I know who I am. I'm walking in power, walking miracles. I live a life of favor. I know who I am. Oh, 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 oh. I know who I am. Oh, 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 oh. I know who I am. We are a chosen generation, called for to show God's excellence. All I require for life God has given me, and I know who I am. We are a chosen generation, called for to show God's excellence. All I require for life God has given me, and I know who I am. I know who God says I am, what God says I am, where God says I'm at. I know who I am. I know who God says I am, what God says I am, where God says I'm at. I know who I am. I'm walking in power, walking miracles. I live a life of favor. I know who I am. I'm walking in power, walking miracles. I live a life of favor. I know who I am. Oh, 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 oh. I know who I am. Oh, 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 oh. I know who I am. I am holy, I am righteous, oh, I am so rich, I am beautiful, oh, I am holy, I am righteous, oh, I am so rich, I am beautiful. I'm walking in power, walking miracles. I live a life of favor. I know who I am. I'm walking in power, walking miracles. I live a life of favor. I know who I am.